And I'll never forget this, man. He was like, if you go get me a chocolate milkshake from McDonald's and bring it to me, I will give you some dope. That's the 30 of Fetty I got caught with. And this shit had no business being in Circleville. It was way too strong. And I had been doing Fetty for quite some time now, a couple years.
Yeah.
And I was used to it. I was shooting Fetty every day. And the next morning, I was not sick. I wasn't trying to get high. I was just trying to get ready for work. So I go to the bathroom, lock the door, I do a shot. Last thing I remember was pushing at my arm. I did like that much.
Damn.
Dude. And I woke up to the cops. They kicked in the bathroom door, and they're dragging me out, and they're asking me what day it is, if I'm okay. My great-grandmother, she almost had a heart attack, dude, because she can't kick open that door.
No.
She told me she was beating on the walls, yelling for the neighbors. And she said she heard me go to the bathroom, lock the door, and heard a crash, and she already knew what happened.
Okay, we are back with another episode of Get a Grip Podcast. We have another one from the Buckeye State down in Circleville. Thanks for coming out. We have Bryce Sparks with us today.
Thanks for having me, man.
Harry, who we interviewed yesterday, you're his roommate now, so you guys are doing the whole sober thing together. That's awesome. It's how it's supposed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
The goal here is to learn about your childhood, how you grew up, give us some context, and then take us into the craziness and how you ended up, in the gutter, basically.
Sure.
How you got out.
Yes, man. So like you said, I'm from Circleville. I was born and raised there. Really off and on with my mom and mainly my great-grandmother who raised me. And I never really was around any of that stuff, like the drinking, the drugs, none of that. I got into that all myself with the people I was hanging out with. And
not a family thing.
No, I mean,
here and there.
Right, yeah, the older people in our family.
Normal drinking or?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Even then, I still really wasn't around it too much. That would just be something aunts and uncles would do. But yeah, it didn't really start until, for me, I was about 12 when I first started experimenting, started smoking weed, cigarettes here and there. And it really wasn't until like 14, that's when I found out that the great-grandmother I was living with who raised me, that's when I found out she was getting 180 Vic 5s all the time. Like she had them. And
damn.
So at 14, that's when I started taking those. And at first it was just to sell them to like my friends' parents and just to get weed money. And that's just all it was at first. And then about 15, 16, when I started getting into more heavier stuff, like acid, shrooms, cocaine. When I was 16, that's when I really found like my first plug for coke. And that's when I really started doing it. I would take it to school, do it in the bathroom, go back to...
Damn.
Yeah, in high school, I'd go to the woods bathroom, and we just sitting there in third period, speeding off coke.
Small school?
Yeah, at Logan High School.
Did you graduate?
I did.
What was your graduating class? How many people?
I'd say no more than 100.
Okay.
I mean, at most.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't...
Small.
It was real small. Everybody knew everybody.
Oh, yeah.
But that's when I started getting in trouble, too, at school. I would just take cigarettes and drugs to school, and I'd always show up late.
Why?
I don't know. At the time, I just didn't care. I was driving at that time, so I could just sneak out before and after lunch, hit a cigarette, do a line, go back in. And that was when I left after my sophomore year, went to vocational school for game design. And the actual course that I took was called Interactive Digital Arts, and that was at Pickaway Ross. And at that time when I was there, I really wasn't messing around too much, but I was still doing some drugs. Mm-hmm. At Pickaway Ross, there's more people, more connections from like Chillicothe, Circleville, And that's where I met one of my buddies who was in the same class. He was getting DMT in Chillicothe. And so I'd just go down there and we would just get high on DMT and smoke weed.
What is that like? Tell us about DMT.
I only did it like a couple of times, but like I didn't have the breakthrough everybody talks about.
Yeah.
But I had intense, really fast visuals.
Okay.
And I remember it was a little orange powder. And we would put it on top of a bowl, and like a weed bowl, and barely hit it with a flame just to get it to smoke. And it would just be real intense, real fast visuals for me. That's all it was. I mean, I had better trips on acid.
It doesn't last that long, does it?
Not really. I don't even know if it was from the other experiences that I've heard. We probably didn't even have real shit. But
I've heard it's orange.
Yeah.
I have heard that, but
I never heard
you
that.
can make anything
Right.
any color. So
Yeah. But yeah, I never had anything crazy. I had more intense trips off like shrooms and acid. And but anyway, so while I'm at Pickaway Ross, I'm involved with this girl I'd been with for about 3 years, from like 8th grade to junior year.
Okay.
That was like my first heartbreak, so I left that. I didn't finish that that course, the game design. I went back to my home school for my senior year, and that's when it really took off. So like I was 17 when we split up, and then I was really heavy doing the coke every day.
Did you leave the school because of her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. And I just wanted to go back to my home school, wanted to just get away from all of it. And plus that's just where all my friends were. And so anyway, my use picks up real heavy. And at that time, the person I was getting the coke from, he was in there smoking heroin. And he would sell coke and crack to supply his heroin habit.
Okay.
And every time I go in there, I remember it stunk so bad, the heroin. And before I continue with that, I want to talk about too. Like I came up in I consider it like a very special time as far as drug world, because like I've done the pills and stuff, but that was more the generation before me, and I went like straight to the heroin.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay.
I'll be 26 in
Yep.
December, and so anyway, like I came up in this time where I got to witness tar heroin disappear and fentanyl take over.
Yeah.
And I'll get more into that too, though. But anyway, I go to get this coke one day. I'm doing it all the time, and I notice I'm just speeding too much, and my anxiety's real high. I was like, man, I need something different.
You need to slow down.
Exactly. And I remember I go in there. I was like, hey man, does that shit taste as bad as it smells? And he was like, yeah, man, here, try it, hit it. And he gave me a hit. He said, here, take another one so you can feel it. And that was it. Like I'll never forget that. I remember that feeling of when the heroin kicked in. It was just it was almost I kind of compare it to like the first dab, like how intense that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was and after that, like I also grew up in the DARE program, and it was Just Say No.
As did I. Yep.
Yep. And I remember them always telling us, you do drugs once and you're hooked, and you're forever addicted. And I didn't believe them. But now, obviously, the physical dependency wasn't there, but
Right.
the mental was.
Yep.
And after that first hit of that heroin, that was what I fell in love with. I felt like I could breathe, and everything I'd been looking for was right there. And
So funny because it's totally the opposite of cocaine.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not, when you're doing cocaine, you're not wrapped in that warm, fuzzy blanket like you
No.
are with heroin.
Right.
It's totally different. So that's interesting that
Yeah.
you fell in love with that after
Oh,
you were
dude.
doing coke like that.
Mm-hmm. That was my downfall, was tar heroin. And so I was 17 years old the first time I smoked heroin. By the time I graduated high school, I was fully addicted to heroin. I remember people were coming up to me like in my graduating class asking me. We were there for the audition, the practice or whatever, not the audition.
Yeah.
And they were coming up to me and asking me like, "Are you doing heroin?" I'm like, "Guys, we're fucking about to graduate. I ain't trying to hear this. Like, don't ask me that here." And but I was, and yeah, but by the time graduation came around, I wasn't even allowed on the property at school. They
Really?
Yeah, because all those times I was sneaking out and smoking cigarettes, at that time, I had been doing heroin. So I would go out to my car, smoke a cigarette, hit a foil, put it in my compartments, and hit another cigarette. Well, I'm looking in the rearview mirror one day, and I see the superintendent walking back and forth. And he's looking for me. I know he is. As soon as I see him, I hit my cigarette and swipe it in the carpet. And he comes up to my car. He's like, "Did I catch you before or after you had your cigarette?" And I was like, "I don't smoke. I don't know what you're talking about. Smelling like a cigarette." And he was like, "All right, well, come with me to my office." So I'd get out of the car, reach in, grab some cologne, spray it on. And he sees in my back pocket I got a little mason jar, like the moonshine mason jars, full of weed.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. He's like, "I'll take that." And pulls me into my office, and he's like, "Yeah, so you're not allowed on the property anymore." He said, "If you want to graduate, you need to take these packets home and do them." And he said, "Whenever one is done, you need to call us so you can get another one. If you show up without calling, you're getting arrested." And
When he says packets, what does that mean?
I don't even know what they were. It was different subjects, like packets.
Like homework?
Pretty much. But they were kind of thick. It was like a whole class or a whole credit worth of a packet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you.
Because, I mean, I had gotten most of my credits up until senior year when I got in trouble. And these packets, looking back on it now, most people would have been like, "Okay, this is a problem. I shouldn't be getting kicked out of school where they're threatening to arrest me." But I seen it as an opportunity because now I can take these packets home and look them up on the internet and still get high. And that's exactly what I did. And I graduated by the skin of my teeth. Thankfully, they still let me walk.
Did they?
They did.
Wow.
They let me walk and gave me my diploma. And that was it after graduation.
So was there any attempt by the school to intervene other than the damn packets and letting you walk?
As far as like drugs?
Yeah.
No. They knew, like, I don't think they knew the severity of it, but they knew, like, all the times I'd show up late, I'd be smelling like weed, eyes red as fuck, you know what I mean? They never came at me with that. Now that you mentioned, I never thought of that. They never offered me any counseling, nothing. They just didn't want me there.
They were just ready because you're a senior. All right, let's just get him out of here.
Yeah.
And not our problem anymore.
Push him out.
Damn. That sucks to hear that because that's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
It's exactly how it was for a long time.
But so after that, I get with this girl and I consider her the high school sweetheart, but this is the one that I took hostage, and she was like varsity track. She did the whole FFA thing, like the farmer stuff in school. Went to the fairs and showed pigs and all that. Farmer's daughter kind of girl.
Okay.
And she didn't really do drugs like that at all. I mean, she'd smoke weed every now and then. She was doing normal teenage shit, like maybe a little bit of coke at parties. But at that time, I had already been doing meth, heroin, and she got involved with it. And I tried telling her a few times because, like, she just didn't. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know what made her. Because there were some times where she was like, "I'm going to do it and show you that it's easy to quit." And
really?
Yeah. That's what I remember her. Those were her exact words, and that was about shooting up. Because by the time I started smoking heroin at 17, two years later, I smoked for 2 years. By the time I'm 19, I'm shooting up.
How did that come about?
The person I got it from, who introduced me to heroin, I had been living with him and working with him. We were hanging siding and doing all kinds of work, and we would just go to work and feed our habit. Well, I remember driving him home from work one day, and I was so naive to this stuff, man. He was like, "Hey, I just want to tell you, I shoot," and I didn't even know what he was talking about. I said, "Shot who?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "No, like I shoot dope now," and I said, "Okay, well, keep that shit away from me. I don't want to do it," and that was, I don't even remember how much longer after that it was until I did it. I do remember I wasn't thinking about it. Like, I remember telling him that, and that was it. It wasn't, like, on my mind.
Right.
And I don't know what happened. I went to his house one day at night, and I remember I was trading him a pair of Jordans I had for, like, a 40 of dope. And the first person who gave me that first hit of heroin, he's also the first person who stuck me with the needle. And I remember I didn't even feel it. The first time I shot heroin, I didn't feel it at all. He gave me like...
Did he miss?
No. It was in there, and I was like, dude, this is fucking junk. I was like, I don't feel this at all. I said, let me get another one. And so I bought another one. And he wouldn't... I remember he didn't want to let me drive because he said I was going to be fucked up. And I drove home. I was fine. I was a little high after the second one, which I don't understand how that happened.
So it must... Yeah, it must have been shit.
Well, I mean, it had to have been, but it was my very first time shooting up there.
Yeah, it had to have been dog shit.
Maybe he watered it down so it wouldn't kill me or something. But, yeah, I remember I told him, I said, dude, this shit's junk. I don't even feel it. And I got, the first few times that I was doing it, I couldn't stick myself. I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I'd have other people do it. And eventually, nobody's around. I get sick enough.
Gotta figure it out.
Yeah. And I tore myself up doing that, man. I could use both hands, and just like everybody else. And let's see, where am I at? So that goes on for a while, and then I start learning how to do it myself. And I'm still with that girl, and that's where the whole I'm gonna do it too and show you. Well, the first time she's driving me to work, I'm working overnights at Rural King in Circleville.
Okay.
Overnight stock. The whole store is closed at nighttime, and there's only 4 employees stocking the whole store.
Okay.
So basically, you got the whole store to yourself.
No managers?
Yeah, there's a manager.
There's like a night manager.
Yeah, but she's working too.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. She's part of the 4.
Gotcha.
And the only time you really see each other is when you're going to the back to get more pallets from the truck. Other than that, you're in your own section of the store. So I'm in there fucking getting high, doing whatever I got to do just to make the time go by. But she's taking me to work one day, and this is like 9 o'clock at night when I got to clock in. We're sitting in the parking lot. She's on her phone. She doesn't even see me until she looks over. I'm sitting there trying to draw up a shot, and she just fucking breaks down. She's like, what are you doing? And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, why is she tripping? Like, this doesn't concern her. Like, this is what I want to do.
And the words that she said to you, that doesn't match up either.
It doesn't. And then she eventually got tired of it and wondering why I can't quit, because that's the only way I want to do dope now, shoot it. And she's just like, well, you know what? I'm going to do it too. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to quit. And I told her, no, don't do it. And still she did anyway. And
was there a part of you that was like, any part of you that was like, okay, I'm going to have a buddy in this now? Like,
misery does love company.
It's going to be my girl, and that's going to be kind of cool.
I was
not like cool, but like,
right,
you know,
okay,
I'll have
with
a
it.
person.
I'll
have someone there with me.
I think a part of it was, okay, maybe she'll get off my back. But more of it was I didn't want her to do it because I knew like
what was going to happen.
Right. And we were so young, dude. We weren't even 20 years old. And I didn't know the severity of what we were getting into yet. All I knew was that I couldn't stop. And I didn't care because it hadn't ruined my life yet. I hadn't even been to jail yet.
Right.
Right.
That's what I used to use.
Yeah.
That was my benchmark.
Anyway, we do that, and it's getting bad. And so she would like sleep in the car overnight while I'm working.
Damn.
And, yeah, waiting for me to get off. And while she was sleeping in the car, I'd get off work. It'd be like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'd call my dude. I'm like, yo, I don't know how this dude's dead now, but he would always be awake. Like, he wasn't doing that like meth or nothing, but he was always up, ready to sell some dope. Every morning after work, I'd call him.
Hell of a dope boy.
Yeah, I'd go pick him up. She'd be dead asleep in the car. Wouldn't even know it. I'd get home and wake her up like, hey, we're home. Come on. And she'd go in there, go back to sleep. And I'd do a shot and go to bed. And nobody knew. So I thought, you know what I mean? But that went on. We were staying at my grandma's house, the great-grandma who raised me. And I didn't even ask if she could be there. I just moved her into a 2-bedroom. I just had her in my room. And this 85-year-old woman that I'm doing this to. And she's not going to kick me out. She was my biggest enabler, so I took advantage of it.
Yeah.
And eventually it gets to a point where I get to meet this girl's mom. And this girl's mom, my nickname growing up in school was Sparky. And apparently this girl would always talk about me when we were younger, and her mom finally met me. She's like, so this is the famous Sparky I got to meet. was like, yeah, and she didn't even know yet at the time. And I feel really bad because this woman was introducing me to her friends as her son-in-law, and she didn't even know at the time what we were getting into.
What you were doing.
Right. But she tells us we can stay at her trailer to as long as because she was looking to get her first house.
Okay.
She said, you guys can stay here. Just help us move when it's time to move, and we'll give you this trailer.
Wow.
Yeah. Her mom looked out tough for us.
Damn.
And we were like, all right, bet. And that's exactly what we did. And I remember she was about to sign the trailer over to us, but the girlfriend didn't have an ID, like a valid ID to sign over to. All she had to do was go get a valid ID, and we could have had that trailer. I held a huge resentment against her for that. But looking back on it now, I'm really glad we didn't, because we would have sold it. Yeah.
Or sold it.
Yeah, we did. I turned it into a shooting gallery for sure.
Yeah.
And we'd never pay. Her stepdad showed me how the trailer park company comes and turns off the water if you don't pay it. It's just a valve underneath the trailer. He showed me exactly where it was at, so we never paid the water bill. Every time they'd come turn it off, I'd turn it back on. And that's what I did. So right across the street is where we both worked. She worked at Pizza Hut. I worked at Cheap Tobacco. And I was robbing them blind, dude. I'd wait till they trained me enough to where I run the store by myself. And I'd have my dope boy come up and be like, bro, because I knew the discount codes. I could get them discounts. I'd be like, dude, I'll give you fucking 4 packs of cigarettes for $3 if you come through right now. And they would every time.
Really?
Every time.
Really?
And I would take money from them. I was tearing them up. And until eventually they fired me.
Did they come to you with evidence or anything,
or
proof, or they were just like, get the fuck out?
Yeah. So at first they was like, they said, money keeps coming up short, and if it keeps happening, it's coming out of everybody's paycheck. And then the next time it happened, it was supposed to be to come out of the paycheck time. No, they just let me go. They were like, you know what? It's only happening on your shift.
It's you.
Yeah. They just fired me.
Did you get fired from that other job too?
Yeah, I called off too much.
Okay.
And because I didn't want to be at work. It's when I'm using, I'm like allergic to work. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If I can't have drugs.
It is weird.
Right.
I remember back in the 80 days, I was like, if I just had 80s all the time, like, I'd be good. But then as soon as I'd fucking do one, I would not want to go to fucking work. At all. Yeah. Like, at all. So
it's crazy.
Allergic to it, like you said.
That's terrible.
It's weird.
And that's I don't remember when, but, like, I always say my drug of choice is, like, heroin and fentanyl. But, like, I really did a lot of meth, too. And I didn't really care for once I started doing that shit, I didn't care about the coke, the crack. I didn't really care for crack at all. And I definitely didn't care about pills, unless I could make money off of them to get dope. But, yeah, dude, it was pretty wild, man. Like, I remember, speaking of pills, I remember the first time I seen a Perk 30. And this was like 3 years ago, maybe.
Really?
It was one of them inbox 30s.
Yeah.
And my dude had 10 of them, and I'm fucking sick from Fetty.
Was it real? Were they real 30s or were they Fetty?
I don't think it was. Definitely wasn't Fetty, because I was withdrawing from Fetty, and this dude gave me 2 of them, and I shot one and snorted one, and didn't even feel it. I was like, dude, these things are fucking junk.
It's just not enough.
No,
it's just not enough.
Not enough at all.
Yeah.
Didn't even touch it. But anyway, so the first time I went to jail, this is when the heroin started to disappear and the Fetty took over. So the original person, when I first got in the game, that introduced me to the heroin, that's the only person I could get it from. And he always had it, which was cool. I didn't mind. But then it got to a point where I was using so much and I needed more, where I was hitting him up every single day, and eventually he's not going to have any either.
What are Fetty withdrawals like? Like, what's the length you can go between shots? Like, how? Because I know when I did heroin, I could do probably 10 hours, 10 to 12 maybe. I heard Fetty is much less than that. Is that true?
Yeah, for me it was. I mean, dude, like you said, the heroin, dude, I could do like a good shot, like some good heroin.
Yeah.
I could do one shot and be high all day.
Yeah.
All day long. But the Fetty, the withdrawals are definitely more severe. On heroin withdrawals, I could eat, but it just needed to be hot. For me anyways, but the Fetty, I couldn't eat at all, dude.
Really?
Yeah, but like the time between the shots, man, I'd get like a gram, and I wouldn't wait till I'm sick to do more, but you wouldn't be high after that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just wasn't sick yet. But it would take me probably about a day.
Okay.
Like one day without Fetty, I'm really going through it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm scheming.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm sweating, can't sleep. The minimum, though, it's probably...
Before you start to feel it.
Before I start to feel it, I start getting nervous. Probably about the same as the heroin for me.
10 to 12.
About 10 to 12. And it's just it's so much stronger, dude. Like it's wild how strong that shit is. But so when the heroin was disappearing, it was 2019, 2020.
Isn't that crazy how, like, I talked about this with someone else. So the pills in the 80s and the 30s, they were there. Then they were gone. And then heroin just appeared out of...
It's the same shit, dude.
It just appeared.
Yeah.
Out of the fucking thin blue air. And heroin's here. And then next thing you know, it's fucking Fetty.
Yeah.
All of a sudden. Now
I wonder what it's going to be next.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
like fentanyl's just here. Here we go.
Yeah, everywhere.
It's crazy.
Yeah. They so when the person I was getting it from, originally I stepped on his toes, started getting it from his plug, who came up here. Everybody most dealers in Circleville are usually women, and they come up here to re-up. That's what they do.
Name Cue Ball ring a bell?
Cue Ball, no.
Okay. I used to pick a guy up in Circleville and bring him down here to Mount Vernon Avenue.
Really?
And he'd slang on Mount Vernon.
Yeah. The only like his nickname Chubbs, that was my dude. He'd come up here and re-up. But anyway, that person I stepped on his toes and went to his plug, the chick. I remember hitting her up like, "Hey, I need some boy," and she's like, "I don't have that anymore. I got this," and it was some white. It was Fetty, and I told her, I was like, "I don't fucking want that. I want tar." She's like, "This is all I got." And I don't remember the first time I did Fetty, but I remember not wanting it the first time I was offered it because I didn't know what it was. I didn't want it.
Right.
I want tar. And the first time I overdosed on it, I got it from behind a gas station in Circleville. Rode my bike all the way from the trailer park to this gas station. And I took my needles with me because I don't want to wait to get home.
Yeah.
And I had already built up a tolerance for this stuff. And I knew they were cutting it. They all do. And
you have to.
Right. And I go behind this gas station, get the shit, go into the bathroom, and do it all. It was a tenth. It was just a dime.
Okay.
Shot it all. And I black out. I can remember hearing like people beating on the door.
Oh.
And I'm yelling at them like, "I'm fine, leave me alone." That's all I can remember. And then next thing I know, I'm getting pulled out by all these sheriffs. I'm incoherent. I can just see a little bit. It's all blurry. And I hadn't been to jail yet. And I remember them telling me, like, "You're either going to jail or you're going to the hospital. What's it going to be?" I said, "Well, obviously, let me go to the hospital." So I go to the hospital, and I'm there for like an hour, and they let me out scot-free. Nothing happened. Nothing.
Wow.
And so I go back to doing what I'm doing. And over the next few days, there's a sheriff showing up to my house. And I call my cousin. I'm like, "Yo, there's a cop that
Just like sitting?
No, like showing up, knocking on the door. And he comes like once or twice a week. And being the tweaker I was, I'm not answering the fucking door. And I call my cousin. I'm like, "Yo, there's a cop that keeps showing up. What do I do?" He said, "If it's two cops, don't answer the door." He said, "If it's just one, go ahead." I was like, "Okay, that makes sense." So I answer the door, and he hands me some papers. He's like, "You need to go to court over what happened at that gas station."
Oh.
I was like, "Fuck, man." And that was the first time I got put on probation.
Misdemeanor paraphernalia charge?
Yep. Drug abuse instruments.
Okay.
Yep. And because I did all the dope, they didn't.
Yeah,
you know what I
there's
mean?
no dope to catch
Right.
you with.
So they gave me like a year of intense supervised probation in Circleville. I remember I was upstairs, go downstairs to sign the papers to get put on probation, and I never came back. It took me four years to complete 1 year of probation. Yeah, I just completed last year with an early termination.
On that misdemeanor?
Yeah. Because
Are you shitting
I
me?
kept getting it extended, catching more charges. Mm-hmm. Yep. And they would and be more PVs on top of PVs, extension. It took me a long time to get off that, man. And so long that my original first PO actually quit and went somewhere else, and they gave me the chief probation. That original PO moved to Florida.
And you got a new PO.
Yep, and just so happened to be the chief probation officer.
Fun.
Jason McGowan.
That's fun.
Yep.
Just what you wanted.
Yep. And I dealt with him for over the course of the next 3 years. And
were you catching? Did you ever catch any big boy charges? Any felonies?
I've been charged with a few. None of them ever convicted.
Really?
Yep. I got lucky, dude. I had
Did you go to trial?
No, I had forgery. They were either dropped or amended. All of them.
Okay.
Forgery, disrupting public services, B&E, felony theft.
How does the B&E get dropped?
So because when I went, I was originally went with my dude because he told me he was going to go re-up. I went with him, and he takes me to this house. I stay in the van, and I'm sitting out in this van with some chick for a long time, and so long a sheriff pulls up and asks us what we're doing. And we all three had different stories, and the only thing that saved me was I got out of the van and went directly to the cruiser. My fingerprints, footprints are not around that house at all. I don't do that. I don't break into houses.
Right.
What I do is I like to steal catalytic converters. That's what I did.
Okay.
And it was easy. I don't want to risk getting shot or going to prison.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so that didn't stick. The felony theft, just a bunch, dude. None of them stuck, thankfully. So I'm not a felon. I do have a shit ton of misdemeanor thefts. Drug paraphernalia.
You can get that expunged.
That's what I'm working on right now. I didn't even, out of all the 6 years I was out there ripping and running, I didn't catch a possession until this last time. And it was with a 30 of Fetty. And it was such a little amount. When I go to jail, they let me out the next day. I go back to court 2 weeks later. And my public defender, Josh Hall, he's a beast, dude. He's got me out of all my felonies as a public defender.
Really?
Yeah. And as soon as I walk in there, he's like, all right, I got you attempted possession, 18 months probation, or 18 months drug court. What's your choice? I said, I don't want to do drug court. I've heard about that.
I did drug court. It is. I
was like, I'm cool.
You want to talk about intensive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
It's intensive.
So I was like, let me get that 18 more months probation. And so there it is. I got attempted possession. And got lucky for that. That was the last time I had overdosed, was April 3rd of 2023.
Okay.
And I was homeless at that point. I was staying under a bridge.
Damn.
I was staying in like I've been homeless for a long time.
Yeah, how long were you homeless for?
At least 1 to 2 years, 2.5.
Holy shit.
Off and on.
I did 30 days.
I was homeless for a long time, dude.
That is
for a long time. And it would be like somebody let me stay here one night or a couple nights, get kicked out of there, and I'm back on the street. Or grandma let me stay one night, but most of the time I'm sleeping outside.
God.
And so one time I noticed I had a couple spots I would stay at, and like I never stayed at tent cities because cops were always looking over there. I always had warrants.
Plus, you got people looking to steal your shit.
Right.
Fucking.
I wanted to be alone.
Yeah.
And in Circleville, right beside the White Castle, there's a Shell gas station. Right beside the Shell is a open lot, and people sell sheds there, like nice sheds with like a porch and front door, nice shit.
Okay.
And I got curious one day. I walk into it, and it's unlocked. I go in there and look, and I'm looking around, and screwed into the wall is a set of 2 keys for the front door. And I was like, fuck yeah. So I unscrewed it, took the keys, and that's where I started staying at for a while. I was in these sheds. And
not bad.
yeah, it was
not bad.
Oh, it was sweet, dude.
No, yeah.
As far as homeless goes, you know
I mean,
what
you have a fucking roof.
Yeah. And I was right in front of the gas station. It was all right. I remember at that point, I was so depressed and beaten from being homeless and on drugs. I hadn't been talking to my mom, but like I was here and there. She knew I was struggling, but she set those boundaries.
Was there some sort of like beef there?
Yeah.
From way back. Like
Yeah,
what's the beef?
When I was growing up, my mom and I always butted heads, and we never seen eye to eye, and I always felt that the punishments she thought were fit were not, and so I rebelled. I would run away from home. I would cuss and fight her, and like I remember we were living on the hilltop on South Wheatland. I was like 10 years old, and we went to fucking Walmart on Georgesville, and I just ran away from her over there because we got in a fight at Walmart. I ran away from her, and I'm just walking around the hilltop all by myself, and the cops eventually find me and take me home. That's another story too. I gotta remember to tell you, but anyway, so there was a lot of beef there. She would kick me out. I didn't want to be there because I just didn't want to. We have a great relationship today. Good. When I hadn't talked to her before I went to the House of Hope in 23. Before I went to the House of Hope, I hadn't talked to her in 6 years. Jeez. And I would like try to call her from jail. Before that 6 years, she would answer every now and then, but at that point, she had already set her boundaries and she knew what I was doing. And
pretty much, it feels like she picked up the phone just to find out you were alive.
Mm-hmm.
You're alive? Okay.
Yeah, she to this day, just recently, she told me she was always relieved when I was in jail.
Yeah.
And she always apologizes for that, but I mean, that's just, she knew I was safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I didn't talk to her for 6 years, and I just reached out to her at House of Hope when I was there. I couldn't get a hold of her because I didn't know how to. So I reached out to her stepkids, my step siblings, and which I've had a good relationship with them. The man she's been with him for 18 years. He was more of a father than my own father, and so his kids, we were all really close, and that's who I reached out to. They eventually came and picked me up for a home pass, and I still hadn't talked to my mom yet at this point, and I just shot her my number, gave the kids my number. I was like, have her call me, and that's what took it off. Ever since that day, we've talked almost every day.
Wow.
Yeah, she'll call me now to house sit for her. Whenever she has something wrong that she needs to talk about, she'll call me, which is cool and all. I love it. I mean,
yeah, I imagine that feels
great. That's my most important part of my recovery is the relationships that I thought were lost, and it goes for like the great grandma too, the enabler. Like, I did her so dirty, man. Like, and she would just keep letting me come back, and she always told me it's because she feels that I didn't have anybody else. I mean, I didn't have nowhere to go, nothing. And I'm really thankful for that. Like, she was the one who I was forging her checks, and it was to the point where she pressed charges. And
damn.
She was too sick to go to court that day. I remember I was on the streets, and it's hard to fight a case from jail, especially that.
Oh yeah, it's almost impossible.
Right. Thankfully, I was out. I was on the streets, and I went to court, fought the case. But anyway, she was sick. She wasn't able to go to court, so they just had her on the phone, and I remember the judge asking her, like, Miss Sparks, do you want to press charges or not? She said, I want to drop charges as long as you guys get him help. And they dropped the charges and didn't get me help. They just dropped them and sent me out the door.
What?
Yeah. So that's how that went. That's how I got off those felonies.
That is strange.
Yep. I went immediately right back to doing what I was doing. And it went from forgery to just taking pictures of her card and
so they agreed to drop the charges and get you help, which in my mind, I would think justice system, okay, drug court, right? But they didn't.
No, nothing.
They just dropped the charges and said, okay, leave.
I think they misunderstood what she said. I mean, they had to have, or they just didn't care.
One of the two. Yeah. I mean, there's only two options there.
Yeah, it's either you did or you didn't.
Yeah.
And because I remember that's what she said. I want charges dropped as long as you get him help. And they never did.
God damn.
But I end up in and out of jail. You know the cycle.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to get out of that system when you're in it. And
it becomes so normal. When it becomes normal,
right,
that's when you're in deep.
That was the normal. Overdosing was the normal. It was it was just nonstop, dude. And I just didn't care. It was, I mean, oh, it's cool as long as I'm not going somewhere else. It doesn't matter. Thankfully, I've heard stories about the workhouse. I've never been there. The only ones I've been to is Pickaway, Ross, and Morrow County.
Let me ask you this. You said you were homeless for 2 years, so you got the brunt of the bad shit that comes with homelessness. I remember, like I said, I was only homeless for a month, but I remember when that first night, I felt this like weird, like peace, or like this like, I don't know, this like sigh of relief came about me because I had no responsibilities anymore.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I had nothing, nobody to answer to, no job, no nothing. It was just get your little bit of money to get high. Hopefully someone gives you some food. That's your day.
Yep.
That's it. Those are my responsibilities. And there was some weird like peace in that at the time for me. I don't know if you experienced that and then it left after, so long.
So, like for me, I went back to being homeless because of that feeling. Like the first time I was home, like legit homeless, nowhere to go, outside, I was miserable. I was so depressed, I would just walk around and fucking cry. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to be homeless yet. And then I get my shit together, go to treatment, and I go back to ripping and running. I'm homeless again, but this time it's my choice because I thought I missed it. There was that sense of freedom. I didn't, like you said, I didn't have a job. I didn't have any responsibility. The only responsibility I had was get my dope and don't fucking die.
Yeah.
Like that was it.
Yeah.
And that's easy to do.
All right, so I'm not crazy. All right, sweet.
Yeah, man, okay. I completely relate
You're
with
the
that.
first person that has, like, I've shared that with and has been like, oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, dude, it's definitely real, dude. Yeah. Let's see, the sheds. That's where.
Yeah, the sheds.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was on the phone with my mom one time. I haven't even confirmed this with her to tell her, but because I denied it when she asked me, I was still using. But I wasn't trying to kill myself, but I was okay if it did. And I remember I had some Fetty and heroin, and I just mixed them both on a fucking pop can with some Mountain Dew. I didn't have no water.
Yeah.
And I had her on the phone, and I'm talking to her, and I'd do a shot. And like I said, I wasn't trying to kill myself, but I was okay if it did.
Passively suicidal.
Yeah. I didn't care. I was so beat and down. I was like, this is stupid.
Yep.
It was hot in them sheds in the summertime. I had nowhere to go. And she was like, all right, I'm going to get off the phone. I love you. And then I'd hang up the phone with her, pass out. And I wake up to her calling me. And I answer the phone. I don't know how much longer it was after we hung up.
Yeah.
And she was like, did you do drugs on the phone while we were talking? Because your whole demeanor changed. The way you sounded and everything. I was like, no. And she's like, okay, but that's why I hung up. But I did. And I don't know.
She knew.
She just knew. And she didn't want to hear it, which I don't blame her.
No.
And now that I say it out loud, like, I couldn't imagine what that'd put her through if it did kill me. And she knew that.
I've spoken to parent groups twice, and they're parents of addicts that are still using, addicts that are in recovery, or addicts that have passed away. And it is one of the most heartbreaking things I have ever done because you forget the damage you're doing to all the people around you, your parents, your friends, your family. Like, you're destroying their fucking lives.
It's a tornado.
And you don't even care.
Yeah.
Or think twice about it.
It doesn't even come across the mind.
Like, and I'm listening to, and they would, I'd share my lead basically, and they'd talk about their kids and how they want them to get sober. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm nearly crying listening to them talk to me about it. And it's, oh my God, dude. Like,
it's sad.
Yeah, it's really sad.
It's terrible, man. But like, I like that last overdose I was telling you about. That was at the time she was 86 years old, the great grandma. I was homeless, and she called me. I had managed to put on my best dope fiend look and got a job, and I got a job at Pilot in Circleville. I was
okay.
Yeah, I was. The title was maintenance, but really it was just clean up trash and clean showers.
Sure.
And anyway, so she was like, "Hey, you can stay here the night." Because she lives in the village right next to the gas station. So you stay here tonight, get out of the weather, get you a shower, go to work. and I got you a little bit of money so you can go get you a hotel room after that. She was looking out heavy.
Damn.
And I was like, all right, bet. That night when I get there, she hands me a $10 roll of quarters. She's like, here, this is for cigarettes. I was like, all right, cool. I called my cousin, and I was like, hey, I got $10. Let me get some shit. And I'll never forget this, man. He was like, if you go get me a chocolate milkshake from McDonald's and bring it to me, I will give you some dope. That's the 30 of Fetty I got caught with. And this shit had no business being in Circleville. It was way too strong. And I had been doing Fetty for quite some time now, a couple years.
Yeah.
And I was used to it. I was shooting Fetty every day. And the next morning, I was not sick. I wasn't trying to get high. I was just trying to get ready for work. So I go to the bathroom, lock the door, I do a shot. Last thing I remember was pushing at my arm. I did like that much.
Damn.
Dude. And I woke up to the cops. They kicked in the bathroom door, and they're dragging me out, and they're asking me what day it is, if I'm okay. My great-grandmother, she almost had a heart attack, dude, because she can't kick open that door.
No.
She told me she was beating on the walls, yelling for the neighbors. And she said she heard me go to the bathroom, lock the door, and heard a crash, and she already knew what happened. And that was the last overdose.
And you pushed the plunger, and that was the last thing you remember.
That's the last thing I
that
remember.
shit was strong as
Yeah.
hell.
I don't even know if it broke off in my arm. I don't know where the needle was. I just pushed at my arm. Boom. I was dead.
God.
And like I had a tolerance. I knew I did. Dude, it was such a small amount. I'm surprised it did that. And like I said, it had no business being in Circleville. It did not. And
That's the good shit, though. That's the shit you
yeah,
want, though.
I want two of them. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's crazy.
That's the shit you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. That was the best $10 ever spent.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that.
Chocolate milkshake.
Yep. But
Jesus.
so after that, the ambulance picks me up, and I had to go to work, dude. I had to be at work at 10 o'clock. This is like 8 o'clock in the morning, and at a senior citizen apartment complex. An ambulance squad everywhere. Yeah, dude.
God.
And I'm cussing these guys out the whole way to the hospital because it's cold outside. They took me without my phone, my coat, nothing, and they took me all the way across town away from work. They're just trying to save my life. And I'm cussing them out the whole way, talking shit. And they didn't think I knew what I was talking about.
The EMTs.
Yeah. They didn't think I knew what I was talking about because they're like, if you don't calm down, you're getting arrested. I said, for what? I'm signing out AMA as soon as I get there. And they're like, oh, okay. He's not even going to come in, so fuck it. We ain't even going to fuck with him. As soon as they pull up to the hospital, the dude who saved my life gave me a blanket because I was bitching about it being cold. And as soon as I got out of the van, I threw it at him and jumped out of the ambulance. That's one of the amends I need to make.
Yeah, that's pretty dickish.
Yeah.
I mean, that's up there pretty high.
Yep.
On the dick scale.
I want to find out who was working that day and make amends to him.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
I mean.
And, but anyway, so I jump out of the ambulance. I hurry up and leave the parking lot, and I pull out my wallet. The police didn't find my dope. They didn't search me. I still had that fire-ass Fetty in my wallet. And the first thing I do is go directly back to my grandma's and knock on the door. I was like, I need that $100 and my needles. That was the first thing I asked for. And she said, you're not getting that money, and the cops took your needles. You need to leave. And so I was like, well, at least give me my phone and my fucking coat. And she gives me that, and I leave. But she called the cops because I came back. And I'm walking to work. I can see it. I'm maybe 20 minutes away walking. I call them. I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to be late, but I can see it. I can see work. I'm almost there. They're like, okay, that's cool. We'll see you when you get here. Not even 5 minutes later, I hear a car pull up behind me.
God damn it.
And it was the fucking cops who just kicked in the door to get me out of there. And they search me, find my shit, and take me to jail.
Oh,
yep.
Dude.
Took my shit. I got out the next day, called Pilot. I'm like, hey, do I still have my job? They're like, no, we didn't know when you were getting out, so you're fired. And that was pretty much the end of my run. And then I got sober. I count my sobriety date April 19th of 23.
So they charge you what, felony 5 possession?
Yep. For a little bit of a Fetty, like a 30.
Yeah.
And I go back to court on the 17th of April of 23. Excuse me. And that's when he told me amended to attempted possession, either 18 months paper or drug court. I take the drug court or probation, sign the papers. 2 days later is when I catch that B&E I was telling you about. 2 days after getting my probation reinstated.
Why do you keep taking this probation knowing you're going to violate it?
I don't know.
It's the exact reason I took drug court, because the judge told me that if I come in front of her again with the PV, she's sending me to prison for the maximum amount of time possible. Yep. I said, well, I better get the fuck out of this because I'm definitely going to violate.
It's a good thing you did that.
I knew I was going to violate.
Yeah.
I just couldn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't stop.
Well, I played a game with probation, man. Like, I was always on the run. I was just telling somebody about this the other day. I consider I'm 2-4 with probation before I quit. I got away 2 times and they won 4. But yeah, man, I just couldn't do it no more. I was sick and tired of the running, the being dope sick, the going to jail. And it got to a point where when I did get out after the getting in trouble again, I was scared to death because I didn't want to use anymore, but I was back to square one, homeless in Circleville. I didn't know what to do. So I just put my headphones in and walked. I walked to a park that was just outside of town, and while I'm sitting there waiting, the great-grandma calls me. She's like, hey, your other grandma who lives in Columbus needs work done at the house to get you off the street. I said, that's perfect. I'm going. And as soon as I left, I called my PO. I said, hey, I'm not in Circleville, and I'm not coming back. I'm gone. So I'm never coming back to Circleville. And he didn't answer. They never do. So I just left him messages.
Voicemails.
Yeah. Every step of the way, I'm leaving him a message. I'm like, hey, I'm not coming back. Hey, I'm going to treatment. I'll see you in 6 months, blah, blah, blah. So that's when I went to the House of Hope. Went there and never left.
What was that like? I mean,
House of Hope?
Yeah, was it like a relief because you were so fucking beat up from being homeless and like... I have to imagine at first you were like, oh, a bed.
Oh, yeah.
A pillow.
Dude, when I came in, so since I work there now, I have access to everybody who's ever been there. I have access to their intake pictures. And I look at mine. And when I came in, I was like 160 pounds. And my shit was so, like, if I hit a cigarette, my cheeks would touch. That's what it looked like. It was terrible.
Jesus.
I was bones, man. And it was relief, man, but I had a warrant when I went there, a bench warrant here in Columbus, and you have to actively be working on your warrants to go there. You can't just be running from them.
Right.
And I go to get it resolved. The grandma who I'm staying with in Columbus, she was like, she gave me the $180 to get a new court date and lift the warrant. And I go in there, but I forgot my ID, and I couldn't post bail. But then the lady told me, she was like, you can go to this window over here and get it for free. I said, why didn't you tell me that on the phone? They wanted their fucking money. And so I went over there and got it for free. I went back out there and gave her every dollar back. I said, hey, they gave me a new court date. That's how done I was.
Yeah.
I was only like a few days clean, and I was like, no, dude.
Giving back $180.
I could have just left.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
I was like, no, I'm cool. But once I got there to the House of Hope, man, I seen how it was ran. And I was like, fuck this, dude. This is stupid. I'm gonna have these guys help me get rid of my warrant, and I'm going back out. That was my plan.
But the whole accountability thing and the whole telling each other
just all of it, man. Like, I was like, this is too much. Because I just came from a fucking bridge, like, by myself. I don't want to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
And, but from that thought of leaving House of Hope after the warrant, between there and then till the time something clicked, and I was like, you know what, if I do, I'm going back to nothing. I'm going back to a bridge. That was my higher power intervening, I think. He looked out heavy for me, and I stayed, and I haven't left. That was 2 years ago. This October is when I graduated, and then I went to their sober house. I was there for about 18 months. That's where...
Smart move.
Yep.
Smart move.
I met Harry in treatment, and Brent. We went through, but Harry, I met him there, and then we ended up going to the same sober house, and then we got a place together. And it's been smooth, man. Like, things have been coming together. I guess I haven't been to jail in a very long time now.
So I worked in I actually worked in I know this is crazy to say, but I worked in corrections for 2 years up at CBCF on Elm Creek.
That's what I heard.
And I remember guys would always talk about what they were going to do when they got out. And it was always about day one. It was always about day one. It was never day two, month one, month two, it was always day one. It was, I'm going to have a steak. I'm going to smoke a cigarette. I'm going to hit my bitch. I'm going to fucking do this. I'm going to do that. Like, I have to imagine, did those thoughts run through your head as you entered House of Hope and you were like, I'm going to go back to my bridge? Like, were you like, I'm going to go back, get my Fetty,
there was thoughts about seeing the people I used to hang out with. Like, I had thoughts about using, but like, once I worked the steps, dude, that was it.
Yeah.
Like, I still do have thoughts about it, but I don't entertain those thoughts anymore.
Well, and you have that realization that, holy shit, my life is completely fucked up.
Yeah.
And one day is not going to fix it.
No. One day, it took a long
2
time.
2 days, 3 days, no, that is not enough.
6 months didn't even fix it.
No.
It didn't. I had to go through the whole, it took about 2 years to get to where, obviously 2 years to get where I'm at today,
yeah,
but because the 18 months in the sober house and then 6 months over there, it took a long time, but it flew by.
Yeah,
it seems like it flew by. It does not seem like it's been that long since I was there.
When you get sober and things are going well and you have you have goals again. Mm-hmm. Time does seem to fly by. It definitely does.
I always say that's there's two things people don't tell you about recovery, and that is how fast the time goes and how much weight you gain.
I can't relate to the weight, unfortunately. I can't gain a pound to save my life, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. If you had a message for you or anybody who went through anything like what you did, what would it be?
It would be for me, the hardest thing to get through all that was getting out of my own way and thinking that
You seem stubborn as fuck.
Do I?
You kind of come off as like just like a stubborn guy. Yeah, like hard-headed.
Well, I mean, a lot now. No, I wouldn't consider myself
you're
now.
moldable and you're
now I'm more reasonable.
Teachable. Yeah,
I'm more humble. Like I don't know shit, dude, and
that's what I always say. I know nothing.
Right, and it was that would be my message. Get out of your own way, and start taking suggestions, because obviously, if you're going anything like me, what you're doing isn't working.
Yeah,
and, that's pretty much it for that.
Our answers never worked. They never really worked. And then as soon as I stopped using my answers or ran out of them and started taking suggestions from people who knew better than me, mm-hmm. my life got better pretty quick.
And that was a hard thing to do for me because of my ego. Like, I didn't want to admit that I didn't know what to do.
I can't control this.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
As a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
Like,
fuck that. I know what's best for me, but obviously I don't. I've been to jail 30 times in a year. Like, I'm cool. Yeah, I don't want to do that shit no more.
Yeah, I always think about normal people. Like, whenever I go to, when I work at jobs or whatever, and I see people and how, like, normal they are, and I'm like, there's no way that dude could possibly go through what I fucking went through. Like,
right.
There's no... But... He could.
Yeah.
Pick up that needle, pick up that fucking syringe, load it up with some Fetty or some heroin, and he could end up in the same exact spot we did. Like, it's
I've met people out there just like me, if not worse.
Yeah.
Like, doing the same shit I was doing, hanging out under bridges, getting high.
Yep.
Ruining their life. Yeah.
Yep. It's wild, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Sharing your story, dude. It's a good one. It's a good one. You went through a lot.
Thank you, bro.
A lot of shit.
It was an honor to finally get here, man.
Yeah, and I'm proud of you for what you're doing today. You and Harry make a good combo. I think just, remember, don't take each other back out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be safe.
Yes, sir.
Be
Thank
safe.
you.
Yep, you got it. That's it.